Good morning. Today is June 4th, I believe. Saturday, June 4th. And for the most part, the garden is looking beautiful. I have a few issues with bugs and such, but it's a part of gardening. And a few things I need to do. I need to pull up that irrigation wire right there because it didn't work out the way I would have liked it to. So this is my front garden bed. The roses, they're looking fantastic. Well, the blooms anyway. But then you have stuff like the leaves that were eaten up by by some kind of caterpillar. It's really bad down here. I did spray it last week, but stuff like this, I don't know if there's a caterpillar right in here. Oh geez. There's a caterpillar right here. And there's the poop. That's how I just saw him. And like that one, those are the ones that have been damaging my plants. It's been a while since I sprayed. About a week or so. Time to spray again. These lilies are finally making an appearance. And some of the gladiolas from last year, for some reason, they overwintered, which is not normal. This lady's mantle is blooming. It's beautiful. And this is some kind of a Salvia veronica type of plant. The purple blooms. This is the first year here. I am going to move it and put it with the other two in the back. I have like a pattern here with the lady's mantle, then the salvia, and then another lady's mantle. I'm going to move this one and put it in the back and put 3 ladies' mantles here, and then put the 3 purple in the back. The bleeding heart is done for the season, and it's about to fade and die back completely, so I need to put something near there that will come up. I did put 2 white marigolds I started from seed right here. These, I don't remember what they're called. I think they're some kind of primrose, and they just self-seed everywhere. They run underground by runners. They're beautiful, so I don't bother to pull them up. And the salvias are just gorgeous. They're giving the best show ever. These lilies are no bloom stalk yet, but they're coming. The pansies are still holding on. I'm feeling purple this year, and I got so much purple in the garden. This heuchera, and this is a heuchera. I moved these from the side of the house, and they're doing great. They're loving their life here. This lamb's ear. I didn't know that it grew so tall and flowered like this. And once again, these beautiful roses, they always put on a show, but this year I just didn't catch it in time. The leaves are just really damaged. So when I cut it back in a couple of weeks after it's done blooming, I'm going to try and deal with all of that. And here is 2 tubers of canna lilies that my friend gave me after somebody else gave her a whole bunch. And they're supposed to be red foliage, but we'll see. My hydrangeas are looking beautiful. There's one here and one there. And these lilies are coming along. This rose took a hit too. I didn't spray this one at all because I completely forgot about it. And there's a worm right there. And another right there. Tearing up the foliage. But I'll get them in a minute. Some more lilies. These I got on clearance last year. And the pansies are still holding on. They're looking gorgeous. And these alliums are finished. Here's the matching bleeding heart. Drops the blooms already, and they're about ready to die back. Some coleus. I'm hoping that they grow pretty tall as these purple bellflowers, and kind of take over the space. I want that color, the red and the chartreuse green, to just be very prominent in this area. And some more of the primrose that has completely taken over. Man. Oh, and finally, my other hydrangea that I replaced is finally showing some signs of life. I see some flecks of green right there, as it finally wakes up. This clematis is just now putting on its blooms, while the other one on the other side is done. And I have this beautiful lupin right here. This one I moved from the side of the house. It is so pretty. They get fairly wide and big, and I'm hoping that it will do that in this area. Now, if I knew it was pink, I would have put it over on this side. I think I'm going to move it in the spring so that there's a balance of colors. The rose is pink, that's pink. It's just too much in that area. And then all the purple just seems to be on this side of the garden bed. So I'm going to move that. One of the reasons why I don't like buying mixed packs of flowers to start seeds is because you don't know what you're going to get. So I am definitely going to move that. But everything looks so good. Love it. Back here's the other canna that I put in ground. And then I had all three of them in ground. I dug them up because I thought that it wasn't getting enough sun, and it certainly is. And they're actually all on the same pace. So I'll probably put the other ones back in ground, because the less things I have in pots to take care of, the better. And right next to the hydrangea that's finally coming to the party, we have some, I just forget the name of it, some sedum, some beautiful sedum. And I love the leaf structure and the color, but it does eventually bloom like a pink, which turns into a burgundy plum type of color as the season goes on. Love it, love it, love it. Gotta come and deadhead these alliums and tulips. I haven't dealt with my front walkway yet, only because I need to widen it. Over here, these clematis are done blooming, but as that one fades, the lilies are going to take over. The lilies are coming along. And I actually planted some sweet peas, but the sweet peas are not doing anything. They're finally growing beyond an inch. They're actually trailing out down here by my toes. Oh, these were so beautiful. They're done blooming, so I'm going to cut them back, the bloom stalks. I love the gray blue kind of foliage and the blades. This is a hydrangea. I would cut it back again to see if it will do anything. It doesn't get enough sun on this side. I might just have to move it. And I will show you in a minute what I'm thinking about putting there. Here's the matching lily. And here's the last bloom on this iris. And after this one closes, because the bloom is only open for a day, I will chop that off. And these lilies are going to be coming to the party next. So there's always a sequence of blooms. Here's the other hydrangea that is, I know it's alive because I see that the buds are swelling finally, but it gets more sun than the other one. It's just taking a bit too longer than it should, considering the other ones are completely leafed out already. And here's a pepper that I overwintered. It was doing all of this nice work inside the house. And I finally put it in the ground over the weekend. And here is, at the foot of it, is a brand new one. So this is the brand new one. And here's the one that stayed in the house with me all winter in the sunroom. It's doing beautiful things. Here I put a bell pepper. It gets a lot of rain here because of the downspout. Ooh, I don't know what kind of bug this is. I hope it's a good bug. Here's the Veronica. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I may be the fact that it gets so much water right next to the downspout, but this is what that one looks like, and this is what its twin looks like. Yeah. So placement of your plants make a huge difference about how they do. This one's over here doesn't get as much water. This one, I almost pulled it out because I was like, what is going on? But it's right there where it gets too much water, probably. These poppies were gorgeous, but they're done blooming. It was a red California poppy, I believe. And these are some more lilies, and they will be a peach orange color. So there's 3 of them along this wall. My neighbor, once again, I have a fig tree. She loves to give me trees and plants. Oh, so this is going to have to go inside with me because the last one she gave me, I tried to leave it outside to see how it would do because it gets pretty big, as we can see. It's as tall as I am. And it died. So this one has to go inside with me come winter. Here are some more beautiful roses. And the season has been so cool that even the cool season flowers are still doing pretty good. These look so pretty. These are jumping Johnnies. They're the smaller version of the pansies. Here's another red rose. And these beautiful pink roses. Oh, and they smell absolutely divine. And these, for some reason, maybe it's because I got to it in time, were not attacked as bad by that caterpillar worm thing. It's the first time it's happened so bad. It's so awful. My green stalk tower, my lettuce, they're gonna have to be pulled out soon. They're getting rather tall and bitter because the temperature finally is heating up. My kale is doing beautiful, and the bok choy, they need to come out. They've been flowering for a while now. Last time I cooked some, it was bitter because it's not supposed to be flowering when you cook it. Down at the bottom, I have the cabbage, and they're starting to form heads. And here's a cucumber, a little bush cucumber that shouldn't be doing too much trellising. So before that starts to hang on to anything, I need to pull it out, pull the bok choy and stuff out. Over the summer, the lettuce is gonna come out, but the kale and the cabbage is gonna stay. And over here, where I had an empty pocket, I put a patio tomato right here. It's called Tiny Tim. And this cabbage is beautiful. Ooh, and I think I put a rutabaga in here. Yes, I did. I put a rutabaga in here with the cabbage. Bad idea, because now it doesn't have any room to grow. And the strawberries, they're finally coming to the party. I don't know. The bird's nest is still under there, and I haven't seen the bird come to visit. There are 5 eggs in there. I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't know. I don't know if she abandoned the nest because originally there were 5 eggs in there, and then 2 of them disappeared, like something came and ate them. So I don't know if she abandoned the nest because there's a predator. Up here on the top part of the deck, I have my citronella plant, which I overwintered, and it was huge. I cut it back very severely, and it's flushing out new leaves, so it's more manageable. It was massive. And here's one of my Mother's Day plants. All the flowers have died off. It was a yellow bloom, and it looks like the plant on the front that I was showing you. Can't remember the name right now. This is a geranium. It's one of those packets I bought from Walmart that I planted into the pot just to get it going. It's a shade loving plant more so. So I'm gonna have to put that in the ground on the other side of the house. This is a lime tree. It's finally doing something. Actually, there's a baby lime right there. Plus these two that have been on there for a little bit. And is it coming out with new leaves? Because it looks really pitiful. We got blossoms coming there. More blossoms right here. Yeah, I don't know. And we got a dead branch over here. And the chives, they were a gorgeous purple bloom, but now the seeds are forming and they're gonna drop seeds everywhere. I should probably cut that off before it happens, because last year there were seeds growing in every pot that was in this section. This right here is lemongrass, aka fever grass. I grew that from seed. I wanted to have that as a tea option. Here's the lemon tree. This also looks pitiful not too long ago, but most of the leaves on here are actually fresh leaves, because it was looking real poor. And it wasn't because it didn't harden off, it just was stressed from being inside all winter. But it's looking good. We got one bloom. I doubt that will turn into anything. But we have a few fruits on it, and hopefully we get a little bit more. Down here on the lower deck, next to the tower, we have all the plants that still need to get planted. I have sunflowers, zinnias. They're all looking like this because, except for the proven winners, petunia, and that I started everything here from seed, and everything is doing great. Even this calendula, I've never grown it before, and it's gorgeous. I love it. These are zinnias, giant zinnias, I believe. Ooh, that's putting on a bud over there. And these are clearance plants, the same Veronica plant that is over there that is doing so well. These are on clearance. I got them for $4 at Lowe's. I'm thinking about putting these lining the upper part of the walkway in the front of the yard. I'm all about purple this year. These plants need to get in the ground like stat. This lemon balm look like it's about to die. This coleus is getting too much water or not enough fertilizer. I just don't have time. I have to make time. I got weeds growing in the pots. This needs to go. All kinds of weeds. Okay. Over here on my stone wall, or retainer wall, here are the lilies, different color. This is yellow, and you can see the buds right there coming along. And I found some ground cherry plants, and I just kind of tucked them in right there. So hopefully they live, because I didn't start any seeds this year. Here's the purple flower from the front that I want to move and make it a trio instead of, a pattern as what I was trying to go for. There's the lady's mantle. And here is I think this is the Puma pepper. Yep, Puma. It has the dark purplish foliage, and the peppers will be very colorful. And these are small peppers. I have two of them here. Then I have a dwarf sunflower. Ooh, my echinacea is coming to the party. And I have some potatoes here, only because it fell, and I was just like, let me cover it up to see what happens. So there's some potatoes there. Some snapdragon I just transplanted. Right there. They don't look very good. Hopefully they make it. I was over it. I didn't want to separate anymore. So this calendula, this yellow flower, and these cosmos, I started from seed. These fine leaf plants, those are cosmos. Here are the daylilies. This one's put on some beautiful buds. It's going to be a coral peach bloom. And here are some white poppies I started from seed. I'm not sure if they're going to bloom this year, because I think poppies are usually done by now, but they certainly are growing very nicely. I guess I'll be surprised if I get anything. Okay, so here's another dwarf sunflower, and there was a matching one there, right there where the tag is. But guess what? I planted one, the chipmunks dug it up. I put another one, they dug it up. I'm not putting any more there for them to kill it. Obviously, there's a reason they don't want me in that spot, so I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, some more calendula, cosmos, and daylilies. Here are some snapdragons that seeded themselves versus snapdragons that I started in a ridiculous group. Way too many seeds in one spot. So I'm gonna have snapdragons everywhere. My hydrangea, the purple blue hydrangea, some more self-seeded snapdragon right there, some white poppies right there, and then the cosmos right there. And this is a first for me. This is the hollyhock. I started the seeds last year, and for the first year, they're biannual. For the first year, they just grow beautiful foliage and do nothing else. The second year, they grow bloom stalks, and so this will be the first time I'll see one in real up close and personal. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Daylilies budded up. My beets, they're coming along. Cucumbers are looking a little yellow. I have to give it a little feed over here. And my peas, sweet peas, and another cucumber. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a nice little feed. We got in here a lot. There's lettuces, beets. For some reason, this one is just doing so much better than that one. I don't know. So there's lettuce, beet, and I believe I put some seeds for a radish. It's a large type of watermelon radish, or medium size. This plant, I'm waiting for it to bloom to figure out what it is. I think it's echinacea, but I'm not sure. I babied it all of last year. There was actually 3 of them, and this is the only one that survived. And I think it's a coneflower, but I'm not 100% sure. The leaves look very much like a coneflower. Now the hydrangea, more poppies and cosmos, tomato, pepper, tomato, foliage from a daffodil I have to cut back, tomato, and another tomato. I have a hard time getting rid of stuff. Oh gosh. So this, I really should throw it away, but I'm keeping it, put it in the ground, see what it does. The lilies and some more of the Johnny Jump Ups, which seeded everywhere. So I'm not sure if you can see the Johnny Jump Up right here. What happened is during the spring, they were all over in here and in the garden bed. So I just dug them up and put them in these pots. And that's what you saw earlier in the video and right here. Just dug them up. They came up by themselves. All right. So this is the vegetable garden. All right, here I have quite a few things. Let me see if it came out. So these are Kajari melons. These are tomatoes. These are San Marzano tomatoes. More calendula. This is a good medicinal or skincare plant. And these are Black Beauty tomatoes, my purple tomatoes. And let me shred these leaves through. Yep. These are okras, bush okra. They don't grow very tall. And those are cantaloupe, right along there. basil, just kind of dot basil everywhere. There's basil right here too. And I have some butter beans right here. They don't get very big, but they're supposed to be very productive plants. So we shall see. And over here I have sugar baby watermelon, I think. And here are the sweet corn, but I came home yesterday, so these germinated just fine. And then these seeds I had done at a later time, so we shall see how this does. Yesterday I came home and this one was dug up, so this one's probably not going to make it. There are holes all through the garden because something, chipmunk or squirrel, was living their best life. Over here, I have my cherry tomatoes. Those leaves are massive. Am I sure that's a cherry tomato? My God. Wait a minute, which one is this supposed to be? Supposed to be chocolate cherry? I don't know. We shall see. These are supposed to be sun gold. These are supposed to be yellow pear. And these are supposed to be shimmer. So shimmer, yellow pear, sun gold, and chocolate cherry. I don't know. We have to see. All right. And finally this year I got my callaloo in a decent time frame. So here we go. Callaloo. I have parsley. I have all kinds of basil. There's a whole row of basil. And I now have thyme from Mia and Donald. Mia and Donald, I went to their house and dug up some thyme. Then this is called the 4th of July tomato. It's a determined type of tomato. It doesn't get very tall. And as you can see, this has trellising and something to grow on because it does get very tall. Over here, I have all kinds of, these are all sweet peppers. I killed the first set because I went a little overzealous with the liquid fertilizer. Here they are. Oh gosh, and this is a new tomato to me. It's called Lemon Boy. We're gonna try it. And here are the potatoes. These were started first and then these came later. These were in a bag that I bought, well, my father gave me. They're like a red variety, and these were the ones that started growing from the ones I did last year. And who knew potato leaves were flowers were so pretty. Very nice. And my onions are going to seed. And so the beets are coming along. They're gnarly looking. They're not very rounded and pretty as I remember, but it's a beet nonetheless. And here go my peas. And here are the peppers I planted between the peas. So this one is called a, let me see. The other one's a puma pepper. So this one's called a jigsaw pepper. It's more like a traditional like habanero or Scotch bonnet type of pepper, the size of them. And the foliage is purple, and there's a little bit of a white variegation in the foliage. So this is what it is literally supposed to look like. And these are just orange habaneros. Over here, these wild roses are so pretty. This is on my neighbor's yard. We have them in the back too, but we cut them down. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Wow. So pretty. The peach tree, we have peaches. I lost 2 branches though. This one's gone. And so I'm training this one. The angle's a little bit sharp. I don't know if it's gonna break or not, but I'm training this one to replace that one, and we lost this one. So we lost 2 branches in less than a year. It just got too heavy. I really need to thin the peaches, but it feels so bad. And plus it usually does its own dropping. Like it will drop the fruit if it's too much for the tree. So no pears for us this year. I think the freeze killed off the flowers off of this pear tree. And these plums, I remember seeing flowers on the plum tree, but I haven't seen them or any fruit. So no plums this year either. This beautiful beast of roses here. Love it, love it, love it. Hopefully this hydrangea give me some blooms this year. I have to come back here and do some weed whacking. And this is a PG hydrangea tree, supposed to be a standard tree. And yeah, I've been letting it grow wild, so I have to fix that. I want to see it bloom and then I'll prune it in the shape I want. This is the first year it's doing so well, so we'll see. It's the second year in ground. This is new to me as well. This is a cherry tree. It's a cocktail cherry tree. Has 3 different varieties. It has the Rainier Sweet Cherry, Bing Cherry, and Vans Cherry on a Mazard rootstock. All these weeds back here, they bloom orange in the summer, and it's actually quite gorgeous. I guess they like it wet because there's a waterway back here. Oh, look at my roses. Oh, these are gorgeous. Wow. Just wow. Wow. Here, these are the azaleas. They're done blooming for the season. Here go the wild roses. And here is my cocktail plum tree. Just saw a spider. And there's actually a plum on the tree. I was like, oh, it's right there. So the plum tree, let me disturb that bug. The plum tree, the plum tree has Dapple Dandy Poulat. And here we have Flavor Supreme Poulat. And so it has 4 varieties. Then we have, ooh, not the wasp. Come on now. Then we have Flavor Queen Poulat and Flavor King Poulat. So that's pretty cool. And there's a ladybug. We love you in the garden. Keep doing your thing. Okay. And so, once again, an example of what sun does for your plant. So, this rose and this rose we're putting at the same time and get the same kind of love and treatment, except for sunshine. These guys get sun all day, and these guys did not and do not. We did have some trees cut down, so we'll see if they get better sun exposure, but yeah. The difference is the sunshine. So you can grow a plant, but the vigor of the plant depends on how much sun it gets. And here's a hollyhock that started last year that didn't do as well as the big one sitting up there on the wall. And here's another one of those hydrangeas that I was waiting to emerge. I believe I bought 5 on clearance, and I kept them outside over the winter, and probably wasn't the best idea where I had them, but they seem to do well, and they seem to be alive in the spring, but the sun. So anywho, most of the leaves died, or the branches died on this one, so I just cut it and left it with 1 branch. So I kind of turned it into a standard, or a lollipop hydrangea. It's kind of low to the ground, so we shall see. And here go my onions. These are curry red squash. They're going to be trained up over this trellis here. I have in here basil. I have gungo peas back there. You can hardly see it. I think it needs more sun, but it does get a good amount of sun later on in the day. So that's the gungo, and these are our onions. That's parsley. This is a red curry squash. I put 3, and they're gonna go up the trellis. These are sunflowers, and it looked like something trampled on my sunflowers. I just transplanted them a couple days ago. And these are long beans or noodle beans. They're gonna go up and over this side of the trellis. And these are honey nut squash. We got more basil. I think this one's cinnamon basil. And the one back there is cardinal basil. And onions that have been hanging around for years now. I put them in here this year because what else am I going to do? I needed to put them somewhere where they would live for a little bit until I was ready to transplant them, and they ended up living there. Okay, I think I lost a sunflower, maybe 2. The small one is gone, or is it? Oh, that might be it. And then this one was trampled over, and this one was dug up. Ooh, animals, I tell you. And these are still here. We shall see. Over here on the side is a variety of hardy hibiscus. These, this is only their 2nd year. I think I planted them last year. This blooms red with green foliage. This blooms red with a little bit of a red foliage. This beautiful hosta. It's my neighbor's. And these are also his. These hibiscus, they bloom white with like a pink center. Mostly white, but they have a pink hue to them, like a very light pale pink. And here's my other one. Gets more sun, so it does better. And here's the most successful hydrangea of the 5 that I had. But it gets more sun. It gets the morning sun anyway. By about 3 o'clock, the sun has shifted and it doesn't get any more. But it's enough for it because it's been doing great in this spot. It's the first one to show sign of life. And over here, oh, my maple looks beautiful, by the way. These are nasturtiums. Beautiful. Can't wait for them to bloom. I see some flower blooms right there. Let me put this down right here. That's these leaves are so big. That's a bloom. And these stems are from the spinaches I pulled up. And here goes my coneflower that the rabbits have started to eat. They have started to eat this one too. They've eaten the strawberries that were here. And here's the other coneflower. And here's the cabbage. The cabbage are doing okay. And here's the calendula. And here go the strawberries, which are now missing because there was literally strawberries on this plant. And here go lettuce. This didn't do well. These plants on the left were not as big last year when I had stuff here. And the things that I had here last year and the year before did good because there was more sun exposure. Actually, no, last year it was a shade loving thing that was here.